Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, it's Anything Goes Monday. Yeah, where we talk about anything we want. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday we do e-bike related videos. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, I usually start this out with health updates. As you know, I got diagnosed as diabetic. That's been since the end of January is when they first said I had issues. And really, nothing's been changed in the last couple of weeks. My blood sugars are still pretty normal now, and the blood pressure. Yeah, let's talk about the blood pressure. Right, I went to see my doctor. Finally, I actually had my physical. It wasn't much of a physical, to tell you the truth. It was more of an interview. Since I'm a new patient to him, he had to kind of get an idea of who I was, how I do things, do you smoke, do you drink, all that kind of stuff, which I don't. Yeah, it was just more of a talking than an examination, really. But he did take my blood pressure. I mean, the nurse took it first, and they were getting ranges of about like 137 over 72, 73, something like that, which I thought was different than what I usually get. Okay, and so I asked the doctor to do it again until he did it, and he got similar results. I told him that when I do it at home, I usually get results of like 149 over 85, 87, so he thinks that my blood pressure cuff is not accurate. Now, I have two of these things, okay? Two different type of units. One automatically pumps for me. The other one I have to manually pump. And both of those come out about the same. So who's right? Now, he says that he thinks mine is off. I think his is off. Maybe we should just average it somewhere in between. He says, bring it back next time you come see me and we'll calibrate it. I don't think he can calibrate it, but he'll just kind of check it to see how far off we are. Well, we already know we're off because these are numbers I always get is always in the almost like the 150 over 85 to 90. So, but he says his is right. I says his is off. Either way, he says my blood pressure is still pretty decent. I mean, I am taking losartan, which is a blood pressure medication, but the numbers that they give me is relatively small and compared to some others. So, but he says I'm fine. So there you go. What about the glucose levels? Well, they remember this thing. This is the Dexcom G7. This is the continuous glucose monitor, CGM. This thing has a little filament right here. I know you can't see it, it's too small, but I'm touching it here. So I'm telling you, it's not like a needle because I'm able to touch it, move it around. It's flexing. There is a needle involved when you insert this onto your arm. Okay, there's a applicator. It's like a round, big box looking thing. You push this in and then you press a button and then a needle comes out and pushes this into your arm. Then the needle retracts back into that unit, and then what stays in your arm is the filament. Okay, I think I did make it clear before that there is a needle involved. All right, it's just that the needle doesn't stay in your arm. The filament stays in your arm. All right. So that's why if you knock this thing off your arm, chances of you reinserting this would be nil to none. All right. So these are not inexpensive. Now, the doctor recommended that I get these, and she put a script in for 9 units, which would be the equivalent of 3 months. Remember, you need 3 of these per month because it only does 10 days at a time. So 3 months worth, believe it or not. Here's what it would cost if you did not have insurance, because Walgreens sent me a thing that says we're waiting for insurance approval. However, they do put down the cost of it. So 9 of these units, 3 months worth, is $1,367. You got to be kidding me. I mean, you got to make it a mint at that price. But if you have insurance, then the insurance brings it down to $35 for my copay for the whole month. So 35 times 3 months, so 35 times 3, okay? Otherwise, yeah, $1,367, gee whiz. Yeah, we got denied. The insurance company says you don't get it because you don't take insulin. Now, if I needed insulin, they would approve it. But because I don't need the insulin, you don't need it. It's actually true. I don't really need it. It's kind of nice to have it so that you can kind of see how your blood sugars move as the day goes on. But I really don't need to know that. I mean, my blood sugars pretty much stay consistently the same. When I take it in the morning, I use the finger prick test again, and so I take a little bit of blood and I check it out, and it's usually sitting at around 98 in the morning. And when I do it just before I have dinner, it's usually around 109, something like that. So it's not that bad, all right? So now as you eat, it'll typically go to the 120s to 140s in that range when I had this on. So, but it doesn't really matter. It comes right back down after a little bit of time. So it's pretty normal at this point. So do I need it? No. Is it nice to have? Sure. But I don't really need it. So there you go. So I still have to use the finger prick test every single day now. Twice a day. All right. And while I was there, they gave me 2 shots. They gave me a tetanus shot because he says it's coming up to almost 10 years since your last one. So every 10 years you kind of need one. And then they gave me another shot was something about pneumonia type of thing. Not that I have that, but he says that when you hit 65, it's a shot that you get once in your lifetime. Time for you to get it. So he gave me the shot. So 2 shots, 1 in each arm. Both arms hurt afterwards. Still hurts now, yeah. But anyway, that's the gist of how my physical went. Yeah, he didn't do much examination, really. It was more of an interview than anything else. He just took some basic vitals, and that's it. I thought he'd do some type of proctology type of thing, but he didn't. Kind of surprised me. So he said he thought that he was only coming in to do a new patient interview. And I think he progressed with it that way. But later on, he found out I was there for a physical, but he really didn't do anything after that. So he didn't draw blood or anything. He says the endocrinologist is going to check it again in April anyway. So he says best to wait for that, which I tend to agree because it hasn't even been 2 months since I got the last one. And we want to see what the A1C will be, and that's a 3-month thing, right? So we want to see if that's dropped or not. I did ask him about whether I can get off of the medications in time, because I know there is at least one person who said that you're never getting off of this ever. And he also agreed you can get off of the medication, all right? So I asked him, I says, well, how long does it take? I mean, if everything goes well and all the numbers look good, how long does it take? He says, well, the endocrinologist will make the decision on that, but he says he wouldn't see it any earlier than 6 months to a year, which I kind of figured would be the standard answer. So yeah, I'm going to be on the medication probably for a year at least. But at that point, if everything looks good, I will be asking them, can I wean off of this thing? So there you go. That's your health update for me. All right, so what else is going on? Okay, weather in Chicago is still terrible. It's snowing today. Can you believe it? And it's sticking. Yeah, it's not just coming down and that's it. We actually have a blanket of snow. I would say a good, I was looking outside, just looking at how the snow is just standing up on end on the, I don't know, the little wall that's created for us in the backyard. We have like a patio and then a little wall and then the grass, right? I would say I see a good 1.5 inches, 2 inches on there. Now, some of it melted, of course, as it landed. But yeah, I could see a layer of snow. Now, it is March and it is Chicago, so it's not unusual. But considering how good our weather had been, where I was even able to ride my bike in February, I was surprised to see snow. So yeah, we can't get rid of it. One of the e-bike manufacturers, the new e-bike manufacturers, she asked me, she says, it's looking like spring here in China. How's yours? I had to tell her we had snow. I think she was curious when the review will be coming out on their bike. Yeah, that bike did come in, by the way. I mentioned that I had 2 bikes came in the other day, and then another one was coming in the next day. That bike did come in, and I have not built it yet. All right, it's still sitting in the garage in a big box. I will build it this weekend, and then we'll go from there. Now, Monday, which is the day you're seeing this video, it's supposed to be up to as high as 60 degrees. So go figure our weather. If we get enough decent weather where the temperature has melted some of the snow and I can get out there, I might go out there and do a review or two. Because now I got 2 brands that I have to do the review because the bikes are already here. So anyway, we'll see if I do it or I don't. I mean, if it's wet out there, I won't do it because I don't want to splatter up the new bikes and everything like that. I'll have to wait. So I'm still debating how we'll deal with that because things are coming in and the weather is not good. Yeah, this is what happens. We don't get great weather here in Chicago sometimes, but that's the change of season. It's just the way it is. All right. So what else has been happening here? Anything else new to tell you guys? I don't think so. It's been a busy week for me. I had a lot of things to have to do. Plus, bikes coming in. Whenever a bike comes in, let me tell you, it's kind of a pain because you kind of sit around waiting for that bike to come in. They only give you a time window sometimes, So, like the bike that came in recently that came through a freight carrier, they gave me a time window of 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, which is pretty good. Showed up at 12 something like that. So that was a realistic time figure, and they did show up during that time slot. All right. Other companies like FedEx and UPS, FedEx will say, okay, it'll be there in the morning, and then it won't show up until 7 p.m. So you're stuck waiting all day long because you got to do signature and all that kind of stuff to get your goods. So as much as I like getting the e-bikes, the thing I dislike the most is waiting for the package to arrive because you got to sign for it and you can't go anywhere. So so that's the deal with that. And other things happening in my life has been keeping me busy too. So I haven't. I've been pretty busy this week. So anyway, there's really nothing I had to tell you besides the health update and some of the things that's been going on here for me. But hopefully we'll be able to get out and do more e-bike rides soon. But now if the weather's like this. Okay, one more thing. There's always one more thing. All right. And again, it's e-bike related. So, anything goes can be e-bike still, but it could be anything else too. But I got some other requests for collaborations on YouTube. They have nothing to do with e-bikes. All right. But one company sent me something about e-bikes though, but I didn't think it was that interesting. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It looked a little flimsy to me, the bike. So I said, no, I'm not answering this one. And another one came in. It was kind of interesting. It was a product that was like a display screen, kind of looked like an iPhone but bigger, like a display screen that you can use in your car to do things like Apple CarPlay and stuff. And I kept thinking, don't cars have that now built in? I mean, my car has a display screen, If it's a recent car, a lot of cars have a display screen where you get Apple CarPlay already there. So I don't understand why there would be one for a separate screen. Unless your car doesn't have that and you want to add that to your car, then you can hook it into that and that becomes your display screen for your car. But they were telling me it was for higher end cars and higher end things. And I kept thinking, if it's a higher end car, they probably already have a display screen. Why would anyone spend another $269 for something? And now you've got a phone and a display screen to have to deal with. So yeah, that's not going to happen. I could take stuff like that and show you, but I don't see the point. Some of these things that come in, I just don't see the point on. So, I did a video recently about, am I a snob? Right? People say, one guy said that you're a snob because you don't take lower price things. Well, I guess you could look at it on these things too. I'm a snob in that sense because I'm not taking that thing either. I mean, it's kind of expensive for what it is, but I'm not going to show something like that. First off, I don't believe in it. If I don't believe in it, I'm not going to show it. Secondly, I thought it was kind of big and bulky, and they were saying it's for high-end cars, and I'm going, a high-end car would already have a display screen. And a lot of people who buy high-end cars, they don't have like a car that's 10 years old. They usually have upgraded it by now, and it's got the display screen. Why would I need this thing? It's not for high-end cars. In my opinion, it's actually for lower-end cars or older cars, they should say. because those are the guys who would need a display screen because they don't have it in their car. So sometimes when these companies contact me and they kind of pitch it to you and they say, can you do a review on this thing? I don't think they thought through what their market really should be for that type of unit. I mean, think about it for your car. I mean, if it was fairly new, do you have a display screen in your car? I do. I mean, it's for my Apple CarPlay, so I can see the whole navigation on there and everything. And I don't have a really expensive car. All right, it's a Hyundai Elantra. It's probably the cheapest. Okay, it's not the cheapest Hyundai. It's probably the second cheapest Hyundai out there. So that even has it. So why would anyone want to buy this thing? Anyways, those are the type of things that come in asking for types of reviews. And in my original thought before, Anything Goes Monday, we would do reviews of different products. Even those things I turned down. So am I a snob for that? Well, I guess you could say I'm a snob for that too. Oh, one guy says he laughs at his own jokes. Yeah, I do. I do. Hopefully you laugh along with me. Some people don't have a sense of humor. They don't laugh along with you. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Everybody says that. I'll talk to you guys next time.